Hey, what's up everybody? It's Chris with the Dream, and in this video we're going to cover how to import your 2D art that you created in your concept art phase into Blender so you can begin your sculpting phase. So with that being said, we're just going to hop right into it. Let's go. Alright, so we have all our concept art here. We have our different characters that we created from the concept art, and what we're essentially going to do is move at least one of these characters into Blender to begin our 3D sculpting process. Now with that being said, I did most of the characters on one, the front and the side on one artboard. So what we're going to do is just take one of these. We're going to open it in a different file. So I saved it as PNG, but we'll just open this in a different file. And what we're going to do is have one version for the front and one version for the back. So we're going to just save one for the front. So we're going to just choose a side, which is going to be the side view. Oops. Choose that rectangle view like this. Like that. We're going to mask out that area like so. We're going to do the exact opposite for the other one. Mask out the other area. Wait, invert that mask. We could get rid of this too. Edit, and what we're doing is editing the mask. If you can tell, we're gonna make this part black. Boom, and that's the mask right here. What we're editing. We're gonna make another layer. Even though we could make it transparent all the way, and that might be an option. That might be a good option actually. So let's just do that. Let's see what happens with that. Like so, now this should be good to go. We're gonna keep it open for now just till we pull it in. So what we're gonna do now, open Blender, open your Blender program, and we're gonna go in the orthographic view. So we're gonna make sure you're in the Y axis. So make sure it's not plus Y, but negative Y. When you're negative Y, the X will be on this side, the Z will be upwards. That's the way you wanna be. Now you want to just go ahead and drag and drop your images in. And just line them up the best you can. And you see that the blue and the red? Use the red as the floor and the blue just to center your image. We're gonna do that for the X. We're going to do the same thing for the Y. They should both be pretty much the similar, same height. So you just want to center it up like that. So now what happens is when you rotate, you should have something similar to that right there. Like you can see the side view. You can see the side view and you can see the both views like that. Boom. All right, one thing that I'm already noticing is that it doesn't perfectly align. Like this helmet is not perfectly aligning with the other helmet, so it might be something more similar like that. But again, we'll have to either we can stretch one out, stretch it out a little bit, and try to get a feel for it the best you can, right? It's not going to be perfect. Again, you're going from 2D to 3D, so on and so forth. So again, it's not perfect, but you just want to get it as close as possible, like so, right? All right, I think that's good enough, right? That's good enough to get us started. So what I'm gonna do right now is just save this file so we can save it. To mascot. All right, boom. So now we want to go ahead and let's go ahead and start with most important part. The most important part. Go ahead and turn these make them non-selectable. But the most important part, this is definitely key sculpting. Take note. Go to add mesh cube. Right? Add mesh cube. Now what we're gonna do with this cube, this is gonna be our base shape for creating this character. So let's go ahead and move forward. Now, when sculpting, we're gonna do two things here. We're gonna add a modifier. We're gonna add a cast modifier. We're gonna crank it up to 1, and we're gonna make it a sphere. Now you see nothing's changed. Now we are also going to add another modifier. We're going to subdivide, if I can find it. Subdivision. And we're gonna go ahead and add, let's say 2. To keep it simple, let's just add 2 subdivisions. And you're gonna get something like this. Now you might be asking, like, what was the cast modifier for? The cast modifier was to make sure this is a perfect circle. So let's say if I turn it off, it's not, it's kind of square-ish, put it like that. This one will make sure it's a perfect circle, right? All right. And I think I did that, why it's not even showing right. I did it backwards. Put this right here. There we go. So now you can see from a squarish looking to more of a circle. Just changes it a little bit. Now for a head, this is perfectly fine. So not at all times that you're gonna need the cast modifier. I like working from the cast modifier just because I know I'm working with a perfect circle. Now you might be asking, like, what are those hard edges there? If you wanna remove those hard edges, go ahead and right click, shade smooth, and we're gonna shade that smooth, right? Boom. And now why we're working this way is because it's a non-destructive way of working. So again, we can always go in and remove things, and it doesn't add to our poly count. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward. This is going to be what I consider our base shape. So I'm gonna just make this default shape. I'm gonna put this out here somewhere. It's gonna be a default shape. We're not gonna use it. I'm gonna just grab it when I need it. Actually, I can put it below. Let's put it below the surface. Boom. And I can just grab it when I need it. So we're gonna go ahead and duplicate it, move it up on the Z-axis, and we're gonna start with our head. Get it in a rough area of where the head will be. And we're gonna just start to go into edit mode and just start to pull the actual nodes. Now, if you're not able to grab the nodes on the other side. Like, see if I go here and it grabs these three. Oh, it grabbed the fourth one this time. But if you go there and it just grabs just the side, just go ahead and get in the X-ray mode, and now you can see all four. It's a good idea to even be in X-ray mode anyway, but you can see all four. And what we're gonna do is just pull this head up there, and you can see it's starting to shape out exactly our character head. You can kind of see it right there, and we're just gonna shape it out for the actual head part. We're not gonna make the helmet yet. We're just gonna do the head. Something like that. Like this. Something around there, right? Like that. Now, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get into, you see we go into object mode, it's kind of still, kind of want to turn the opacity of these empties down a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how to turn the opacity all the way down. We're just going to continue on. All right. Let's call this default cube. Now, usually how I like to approach this is just go in and we're going to add all of the different points of the body. So we got the head here. We're going to have a torso. Let me actually go into, I'm going to go into front view mode so you can see. So we have a head. Let's go out, get out of X-ray mode so you can see. We have a head. We have a torso. That's going to be a torso. Now, a quick hack here. Well, let's just do the middle part first. Head, torso. Just like building an ant, we're going to add a abdomen. We're going to add the hips. It would be like the thorax of an ant. I said ant, but I probably should explain what I meant by that. So you have head, chest, abdomen, pelvis, right? We're gonna duplicate this again here, but this time we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna go into edit mode, make sure you're in edit mode, and go ahead and pull this over here. It's gonna be the shoulder. And what's happening here is because we have that cast modifier, so we're going to take that off. For that one. So we have the shoulder. Yeah, we just did a duplicate. I'm going to do the elbow. All right, object mode, duplicate, duplicate, 0, make sure it stays at 0. Edit mode, you're gonna do the wrist or hand. Right. Same thing here. We're gonna go back into object mode. I'm gonna select this one though. Duplicate, edit mode, G. This will be the hip going down to the, down the leg. And forget we had that cast modifier we got to take off. All right, we can duplicate it again. D, go edit mode, G, kneecap, S, scale down, object mode, D, edit, G, scale down. This will be the foot, the back of the foot. And again, these things can change. I'm mainly going off of the front of the character, and then we'll just adapt it to, kind of go with the side of the character too. We're going to use the front of the character for more of the guidance, because you can see that our proportions are kind of off on the side. But we can try to do our best to line things up as well here. And I want to make that selectable, so go back to that. Make sure these empties aren't selectable. Just like that. And you see we're kind of just shaping it up. We're gonna get them right though. Oh. Now, that being said, now because we did it this way, that's why we selected this, these circles here, and we're going into edit mode and then moving the circle away. So we're keeping that center point here. Why we're doing that, why that's important, is because now we can add a modifier to this, mirror, and it will mirror to the other side. So whatever we change here, it'll automatically change over there. We can go ahead and do that for all of the rest of the elements that will be the same exact way. Mirror. Mirror. You can hit Shift R kind of once you and when you do Shift R, it'll just do the last step that you did. So you can hit Shift R once you got it there. Shift R. Well, now that wasn't the last step I did. It didn't work. Shift R, mirror. Mirror. Boom, just like that. Edit mode. I'm gonna just pull this forward. Just like that. Boom. All right. So now we have the base, the base of our actual character. We're getting it rocking now. Now, anytime you want to change where it's located, make sure you go into edit mode, because again, you're mirroring your actual object. Boom. And I say, this is a good stopping point. Once you get to this point, we'll see you in the next lesson. All right, so boom. That's pretty much how you start the process of actually getting ready to sculpt your character. Creating all of the modeling points that you're going to end up connecting later on, but all of the different modeling points by setting up the nodes, just think of like a stick figure or something like that. Just like setting up a stick figure. We're just setting up all of the main points to begin the modeling or the sculpting of your character. So in the next lesson, we're going to go ahead and go into a little bit of the sculpting part of the character. Again, more focused on the body parts, and then we'll get into the actual, equipment and hardware that he has on. But again, this is very, very important when starting the production process of modeling and sculpting your character, whatever the case may be. So very, very key. I will see you all in the next lesson. Hopefully you doing that one thing that takes you closer to your goals, and the thing that's going to take you closer to your goals is going through this lesson, laying out your character just like this. Again, this is the foundation to set up any character. However you drew the character, if it's an animal or whatever, however you drew it or whatever it is, you set up these cubes to be in the position of where the nodes of the character is. Because again, now that these cubes are in position, we can model the cubes out to actually start to form the full character. So with that being said, I will see you all in the next lesson. Later, y'all. Peace.